My son's girlfriend's parents showed up saying, "Your son won't take no for an answer." The doorbell rang at 10:30 on a Thursday night. I was already in my pajamas watching some crime documentary when I heard it. Through the peephole, I saw two people I vaguely recognized standing on my porch looking furious. The woman had her arms crossed tight across her chest, and the man kept checking his phone like he was timing something. I opened the door and immediately recognized them as Vanessa's parents. My son Caleb had been dating Vanessa for about 8 months now. She was a sweet 16-year-old girl with long dark hair who came over for dinner sometimes. Her parents looked nothing like the polite people who'd shaken my hand at Caleb's last basketball game. The father, Richard, stepped forward before I could even say hello. "Your son won't take no for an answer," he said in this tight voice that sounded like he was holding back from yelling. "We told him to leave Vanessa alone and he keeps harassing her." The mother, Patricia, held up her phone showing me a screen full of text messages. There were dozens of them, maybe over 100, all from Caleb's number. I could see fragments of the messages as she scrolled. "Please just listen to me. You can't do this. I'm begging you to reconsider. Don't make this decision without me." My stomach dropped looking at all those messages. Richard continued talking while Patricia kept her phone in my face. "Your son has called our daughter 43 times today alone." 43. He showed up at our house twice this morning before school. He's been waiting in the parking lot after her classes. This has to stop right now or we're filing a restraining order. I felt my face getting hot with embarrassment and confusion. Caleb had always been a good kid, never got in serious trouble, made decent grades, played sports. This obsessive behavior wasn't like him at all. I asked them what happened, why Vanessa wanted space from him. Patricia's expression changed to something harder, more defensive. "That's none of your concern. What matters is, your son needs to respect our daughter's boundaries and leave her alone. She doesn't want to see him anymore, and he needs to accept that." Richard added that they'd already spoken to the school counselor, and the police were aware of the situation. They were giving me one chance to handle this before they took legal action. I promised them I'd talk to Caleb immediately and make sure he stopped contacting Vanessa. They left without another word, walking quickly back to their car. I stood in my doorway watching their taillights disappear down the street, feeling sick to my stomach. I went upstairs and knocked on Caleb's door. He was 17, a junior in high school, and usually pretty responsible about homework and curfew. The door was locked, which was unusual. "Caleb, I need to talk to you right now. It's important." I heard movement inside, and after a long pause, the lock clicked. He opened the door looking terrible. His eyes were red and swollen like he'd been crying for hours. His hair was messy, and he was still in the clothes he'd worn to school that morning. The room behind him was dark, except for his desk lamp. I could see his phone on the bed, screen up, like he'd been staring at it. I stepped inside and closed the door behind me. "Vanessa's parents just came here. They said you've been harassing her, calling dozens of times, showing up at their house. What's going on?" Caleb's face crumpled, and he sat down hard on his bed. His hands were shaking as he picked up his phone. "Dad, I know how this looks, but you have to understand what's happening. Vanessa is pregnant." The words hit me like cold water. I sat down in his desk chair because my legs suddenly felt weak. "My 17-year-old son got his 16-year-old girlfriend pregnant. How long have you known?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Caleb wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. "She told me 3 days ago. She took a test, and it was positive. She was scared and crying, and I told her we'd figure it out together. We talked about all the options, keeping it or adoption or whatever she wanted to do. I said I'd support her no matter what she chose. Then the next day, she stopped answering my calls. Her parents picked her up from school, and I haven't been able to talk to her since." He showed me his phone with all the unanswered messages. I scrolled through them, reading his increasingly desperate pleas. "Please just call me back. Are you okay? Your parents can't keep us from talking. I need to know you're safe. Don't do anything without telling me." None of the messages were threatening or mean, just desperate and worried. I asked him why he thought her parents were keeping them apart. Caleb's jaw tightened. "I think they're making her get an abortion without even letting her think about it or talk to me about it. That's why they want me to stop calling. They don't want me to have any say in what happens." My head was spinning trying to process everything. I asked if he was sure about the pregnancy, and he nodded. She showed me 3 positive tests. She was definitely pregnant. I spent most of that night lying awake trying to figure out what to do. On one hand, Vanessa's parents had a right to help their daughter make medical decisions. On the other hand, Caleb was the father, and shouldn't he have some say in what happened? But legally, at 16, Vanessa's parents had full authority over her medical care. I kept thinking about those text messages, how desperate Caleb sounded. By morning, I decided I needed to try talking to Vanessa's parents calmly, adult to adult. I called Richard's number around 8 a.m. after Caleb left for school. He answered on the first ring, sounding immediately hostile. I told him I wasn't calling to cause problems. I just wanted to understand the situation. There was a long silence before he said something I never expected. Full story is linked below or on my channel. On.